So today is the 30th of July, as I had said in the pre-market session that the market I'm looking overall for a bearish bias and I've taken a trade today, which I'll be explaining in a few minutes. So let's do the overall market review of today's session. This is the volume footprint. So if I go to the candlestick pattern, so let me just replay the markets to where I've taken the trade. I'll explain it. It was a very simple trade. As you can see, the bias has played out perfectly. But the entry, because I was closely observing the volume footprint today, it fucked up a little bit. So let me replay the market to somewhere around here. So as you can see, initially I was hoping for a bearish move after this 15-minute, after this 30-minute fair value got ran through to the upside. As you can see, this was a bullish fair value gap. So overall, I was hoping that the market, if it decides to respect this, then I can look for a bullish trade. As I had said in the previous video, that not to marry a bias. So you need to like I'm not trading a higher time frame, so that I need to keep one bias in mind. I can take two bias uh, whenever I need to change anything. So the 30-minute fair value gap, bullish fair value gap, which is getting respected at the time. So my bias was still for the short period of time. It was bullish. So let's go into the lower time frame. When we finish in the lower time frame, I need to back it up a little bit. Hmm. So here my initial movement was so my initial thought process was after this low gets swept, if I see a proper displacement, I can take an entry somewhere around here to target this 4-hour high as the draw on liquidity. But since after hours, when I was observing the market, as you can see, the market gave a quick displacement to the downside. It didn't give any displacement to the upside, which was surprising for me because the market was consolidating in a same place for a lot of time. As you can see, after London open, after like 30 minutes, as you can see, London opened here. It gave a nice movement to the upside, which is usually a manipulation move before the market initially comes down to take the Asian low. So if I show you the Asian low, I didn't check that Asian low at that time, but you can see Asian low was my draw on liquidity at that time. Okay, so I'll just close this. So now if I zoom on to the lower time frame, much more lower, I didn't exactly watch 30-minute 30-second time frame for a lot of time, but you will see here you will see here the market gave collected all this low resistance liquidity within a few minutes. Okay, so this confirms my short-term bias of a bearish market. Now, initially, what I had thought was after this candle, created an order block here, I could have entered here when the market had come here. This would have been an entry, but it would have been an improper entry as there was no further confluence for me. Okay, so if I just load up, so you can see the market had come here, but if the market would have initially manipulated this high a second time, then I would have just taken my entry here, but it didn't give me any confirmation. As you can see, the market just ran through to the downside without giving me a further confirmation. I was waiting patiently for my move to the downside for like to confirm whether my bias is bullish or not. So in this scenario, I need to check whether my overall bias is correct or not, because at the end of the day, if I'm losing a trade, I'm winning a trade, who gives a fuck? If my overall bias is correct, then I can increase my win rate, or overall, if I can predict where the overall day is moving, then I can get a better understanding on how London session is moving or where Asian session is about to do. So based on that, I was not focused on winning or losing the trade. As you can see, this 30-minute fair value gap, I was, it had literally broken through the 30-minute fair value gap in lower time frame, but in higher time frame, it was just rejecting candle, as you can see. So let's go on to the lower time frame. I'll just no, I don't think so. I can do that. If I do that, candle will not function properly. So as you can see, the market was ranging in the same in the 30-minute fair value gap area. So while it was consolidating, I was looking at the volume profile, and the market was like getting a fixed, what you say, that fixed area, or the market was in a fair value zone where the buyer and sellers were communicating very perfectly. There was no buying pressure or selling pressure in this zone. In 30-minute fair value gap, you got ran through inwards. So after this had manipulated the first step, now I was looking for the initial change in the state. So I have explained what's change in the state. So a series of when a candle closes below a series of down close candle, that is called the change in the state. So as you can see, there was change in the state, but there was no, what you say, liquidity sweep before this. So this was just a first move. So if there was no second manipulation move, if you look at it from a far angle, but still, because if you look at from here, amount of time the market came from here to here, so it took a lot of time. Okay. Now from here to here, it came down within a like 4 to 5 minutes. So sellers were in power, and I had taken my entries. Now there was a rejecting candle somewhere around here. Then I had taken my entry here. Yes, this candle, as you can see, as this candle had come here, this was my entry point, and this was my initial target. This low or the Asian low, this was my targets. Now I don't think so this trade had done anything wrong, because now once I look at the higher time frame, it is playing out perfectly in my second monitor. So I'll be needing a third monitor, because like I need to check out the volume footprint, because like if I'm too while I'm entering the trade, if I'm too focused on the volume in like volume footprint, then I'm not being able to see the candle in the same uh, laptop. Okay, in the same screen. So that's why it's being a little bit issue for me. So if you see, the market did give us a few movement, and initially it took out all this sell side liquidity and took us out. But as you can see, initially, now if I cancel out this replay, as you can see, the market is following the overall bias. But what had happened here, like I don't think so I have explanation, but because like in this time it is 14:39, so I end my trading session around 2 to 2:30 or 3 o'clock at the most. So this could have been a trade, but I didn't risk any further. Yesterday also, the trade which I had shown this previous video, that was also it was a little bit early entry. I had explained it. As you can see, overall the market did exactly same way it did today. As you can see, this was the first move with stop loss, then it manipulated, then we got a huge fall. The second move, as you can see, first it created high, second manipulation, now it had fall. So yes, that's it for this video, and let's see what happens. So